What's good, everybody? It's your boy Off Talk on today. We're back with another video, and week 17 is here. We only have 2 weeks left. We do have 2 great weeks of football, some playoff implication matchups, quite a few of them, and some good football being played overall. When you get near the end of the season, yeah, some teams are just straight up out of it. But a lot of teams find their stride, and you're getting some really nice football games and some pretty nice football teams that we were able to predict today. Last week, I went 9-7 for a total of 167 and 73. Whatever it says right there. Not my best week. Probably one of my worst weeks. But finally, I got a perfect game. The Lions and the Bears. I had the Lions winning 34-17. It actually happened. So yeah, I told you I would get this video out on Tuesday. So here it is. It might be Wednesday. I hope it's on Tuesday. Let's get into predicting some games. To start off on Christmas, it's the Chiefs heading up to Heinz Field to take on the Steelers, or whatever the Steelers field is called now. When you look at the Chiefs, last week was a pretty good week. Texans are a decent team, and you were able to go in here. Mahomes played hurt, and they played some really good football. They got bailed out a little bit, like they always do, but they did play some pretty decent football. And they were able to get a win. On the other side, you look at the Steelers. It was pretty close with the Ravens, and then it just slipped away. You were playing pretty well until you weren't, and the Ravens finally got the best of you in a series where you always win, and you've lost 2 straight. It hasn't looked so good, and that's why I will be picking the Chiefs. I have them winning 24-17. The Chiefs have just been playing better. They always are winning one-score games, and I see it happening again. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs. Pittsburgh has some issues that they definitely need to fix before this playoff run, but I don't know if it happens this week. Then you've got the Ravens and the Texans. When you look at the Ravens, last week, it was a pretty good week. You played the Steelers team that we just talked about as those Saturday games match up with these Wednesday games, and you played pretty well. Marlon Humphrey's pick 6 was huge, and you were able to just take care of that game. Derrick Henry played great, and you played a great game of football. On the other side, you look at the Texans. It sucked what happened to Tank Dell. That was terrible, seeing it happen back-to-back years with them. Overall, you had a pretty good game. It's the Chiefs. You're going to lose. You got screwed a little. But you did play some pretty decent football. I just don't think that you played decent enough football to beat the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are a great team. I have them winning 34-24. Seems like they are finding their stride, and I have it continuing, getting another pretty good win here, and they're going to be a threat coming into the playoffs. This is possibly that 4-5 matchup that we're going to see in the wild card round, and I have the Ravens taking it, at least this time. It is Thursday Night Football, the last Thursday Night Football game of the year. You have the Bears and the Seahawks. Why did I say the Patriots? When you look at the Bears, it's been bad. You were able to put up some points, have a decent performance, mainly because of one Keenan Allen touchdown against the Lions. But it was still a pretty awful game. Caleb Williams showed some flashes, but you didn't do enough. You just haven't looked like a good team. When you look at the Seahawks, Packers game was a bad week, but it seems like you got back on track against the Vikings. Yes, the Vikings were able to win that game. That's because the Vikings are 13-2. They're a really good football team. You were able to play pretty competitively. It came down to a great Jay Jettis touchdown. But, yes, sometimes you lose games like that. With that being said, the Seahawks are a much better team here. They've been able to prove it. The Bears have just kind of stunk, and it's going to continue. Give me the Seahawks 27-13. They're going to get the job done here on the last Thursday night football game this year. And it is a Saturday triple header because we just don't want to have any games on in our normal 1 o'clock slate. It is the Patriots heading to LA to take on the Chargers, maybe the other way around. When you look at the Patriots, they had a pretty decent week last week. Bills are a very good team, and you got out to a 14-0 lead. Yes, you blew it. Drake May looked good, as I've said every week in predictions. That's what you want. You want Drake May to look good this year. It's a lost cause of a year. Seems like you're keeping Gerard Mayo, which I don't agree with. But, yeah, the Patriots, they played pretty decently. Bills are a very good team. On the other side, you look at the Chargers. Chargers got a much-needed win against the Broncos. They had lost 2 in a row. I think they were 7-3. They lost 3 of their last 4, and they were able to just get back on track, get in the win column against a pretty good Denver team. I think that one team's better than the other here, and that's the Los Angeles Chargers. I do think that it'll be somewhat of a competitive game. Give me 27-20. Patriots have shown that they can keep up with these kind of teams, but I don't think that they have what it takes to win against a team like this. Give me LA. And you've got the Broncos and the Bengals. When you look at the Broncos, last week wasn't a great week. You got off to a hot start. You were up 24-13 and then allowed 3 straight touchdowns, I believe, to the Chargers. It's been decent for you guys this year. It's been great for you guys this year for what the expectation was. It just wasn't what you needed it to be last week. On the other side, you look at the Bengals. They've gotten 3 straight wins. Quietly, they're 7-8. They're creeping back in there with a win here. They're in prime position to make the playoffs. And, as I've said, they won 3 straight. Had some pretty decent games. Offense has always been showing up. I think Burrow has 38 touchdowns on the year. It's been great. And I think in general, 2 teams, one team's got to win. Give me Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. If they win this, they're in prime position to make it. They just need the Broncos to lose to the Chiefs and them to beat, I believe it's Pittsburgh that they're playing, who's already kind of spiraling down. Give me them 31-24. If I didn't say that already, the Bengals are a very good team. They've been able to show it. They catch fire late in the season, and I think that they're going to do it again, and I think that they're going to sneak in here maybe. Give me Cincinnati. And you've got the Cardinals and the Rams. When you look at the Cardinals, they were eliminated from the playoffs because of a game against Carolina when they couldn't defend. The Panthers played a very good game of football, and you sent it into overtime. It was pretty good offensively. It was pretty good James Conner-wise. My fantasy team knows, thank you. But you weren't able to get the job done, and that's kind of how it's been. You've lost 4 of your last 5. It hasn't been great in Arizona. On the other side, you look at the Rams. This is a team that's won 8 of their last 10. It wasn't beautiful against the Jets. You only put up 19 points. You only put up 12 the week before. You've been able to get the job. You've been able to win football games, and I have that happening again. Give me the Rams, 24-21. Cardinals will play you competitively because the Cardinals are a decent football team, but the Rams will be able to get a win here. And we are finally on to the Sunday slate. This is a game that was flexed from 4-1. It is the Cowboys heading to Philly to take on the Eagles. When you look at the Cowboys, they've been pretty good. I believe they've won 4 of their last 5. The only one that they didn't win was because of that weird punt stuff that happened against the Bengals. You've played some pretty decent football being able to take on and beat the Bucs last week. On the other side, you look at the Eagles. It was a 10-game winning streak. We lost our quarterback. We lost our safety for no good reasons. We lost. Commies played a great game. Jane Daniels played a great game. And we lost. I will be at this game. I think that the Cowboys have been playing some really good football. But in Philly, Eagles-Cowboys, you think I'm going to pick against my team? Give me the Eagles, 30-23. They're going to get back on track. I think Jalen will play in this game. I think he will play lights out. Give me the Birds. And you've got the Panthers heading to Tampa to take on the Bucs. When you look at the Panthers, it was a very good game against the Cardinals. You were able to send it to overtime. People kind of wrote you off going into the week. Dallas wasn't a good game, obviously. You went in there, Carolina, you beat the crap out of the Cardinals when it mattered most. You're able to send it to OT. Bryce played a great game. Chuba Hubbard played a great game. You're able to get a win there. On the other side, you look at the Bucs. You were riding the hot hand. You were winners of 4 straight, and the Cowboys came in there. They kind of did something, It looked like you were going to have a chance, come back, kick a game-winning field goal, and then Deron Bland gets that ball away. There was a lot of big hits that night, too. Pretty cool game. But, the Bucs, now you're not in control of your own destiny. You could get that 7 seed, maybe, but you're going to have Washington lose one of these here. but I think that you'll control what you need to control this week. Give me the Bucs 28-24. Panthers have been playing some good football. I don't think that they're playing at the level that they need to beat Tampa Bay. You've got the Jets heading to Buffalo to take on the Bills. When you look at the Jets, you scored 9 points last week. You've been putting up some pretty good numbers offensively, and then last week it just kind of got shut down. I think that the Rams have had a really good defense recently, but it's not going great in New York. We kind of all know this. It just hasn't been beautiful for the Jets. On the other side, you look at the Bills. Josh Allen, we know, is playing MVP football, has a hand and an elbow and whatever's going on there, but they've been able to pick up wins in football games when it matters, and give me them again. 27-16, the Bills will be able to get this win here because everybody knows that the Bills are the better team. They'll just be able to showcase it again. Then you've got the Colts heading to MetLife to take on the Giants. When you look at the Colts, it was a very good week last week. You popped out to a 38-7 lead. Now, it wasn't great holding that lead. You allowed 23 unanswered, made the game kind of competitive, but the offense looked great. Anthony Richardson looked great. Jonathan Taylor has been looking great recently. Props to him. And yeah, you've been playing pretty decently. You got a nice win there. And I believe that if the Broncos lose out, you win out, you actually get the 7 seed. So yeah, that's cool. On the other side, you look at the Giants. As my 4th grade teachers always tell me, if you don't have anything positive to say, don't say anything. Give me the Colts 28-7. Yeah, they're the better football team here. And good luck with Shador. New York. Voice crack, New York. Then you've got the Saints and the Raiders. This game's going to be bad. When you look at the Raiders, good win last week. You were riding a 9-game losing streak, and you were able to get a win. It wasn't great, but Raiders did what they need to do. They performed over what my expectations were. And a W is a W in the National Football League. You look at the Saints, they just got beat 34-0. It's horrendous for them. It's bad. It's bad. You're so hurt, and I think that you just need a complete rebuild. I think you finally have salary cap this offseason, so that's good. Give me the Raiders 20-10. Raiders showed some promise last week. Raiders have showed some promise recently, and Saints, they haven't, man. You've got the Jags and the Titans. When you look at the Jags, it was a bad week last week. The Raiders actually outplayed you. And you're 3-11, you're 3-12, you suck at football. It's bad in Jacksonville. Obviously, without your quarterback, I believe he's shut down for the year. But, I mean, there's 2 games left. Of course he is. On the other side, you look at the Titans. Here's the way it's been. The other team gets out to a great lead. You've came back a little bit, but just not enough. That's how it's been the past 2 weeks. Your defense has been abysmal, which was actually probably the strength of this team going into this year. And yeah, Mason Rudolph hasn't played too bad. Just give me the Titans 27-21. They're a better football team. They'll be able to show it. And yeah, I think that the Titans offense has actually played pretty well. And the Jags, they might need to clean out shop and make Travis Hunter play about 150 snaps a game. Then you've got the Dolphins and the Browns. When you look at the Browns last week, it was DTR starting and he put up 6 points. I know you want to get the young guy in there. Jameis is a free agent, but it just doesn't look good for them. Yes, they were stopped at the 1 and near the goal line, I think twice. But yeah, it just hasn't been great. On the other side, you look at the Dolphins. Got a good win last week against the Niners. I believe it was I guess you won by 13, actually. But it was a pretty close game for a while. And you were able to pull away, get a dub there. And I think they're going to get another dub. Give me the Dolphins 24-10. Cleveland has not played good football. I know that it's cold. I don't want to hear... Is it in Cleveland? I think it's in... Whatever team's on the bottom is where it is always. But I think it's in Cleveland. Give me the Dolphins still. They're going to be able to play in the cold better than the Cleveland Browns can because the Cleveland Browns can barely play football. And it's the game of the week, flexed into the 4 window. It's the Packers heading to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. When you look at the Packers, they just got a beautiful win. It was 34-0. You took care of everything that you need to offensively and defensively. That defense played amazing. You were able to play just a super good game of football. On the other side, you look at the Vikings. You were able to get a decent win against the Seahawks. It was close, but you were able to pull it out, and you have 13 wins on the season. You're an amazing football team that's brewing there in Minnesota that's probably going to have Week 18 come down for the conference. But the Packers have been playing amazing football the last 2 weeks. We see with Seattle, they beat the crap out of Seattle. The Vikings played it pretty close. They just beat the crap out of the Saints. They are playing amazing football. Give me the Packers, 31-27. They lost to the Lions, which screwed the Eagles out of getting the 1 seed. And yes, I know with this loss, we wouldn't have gotten it anyways. But still, give me the Packers. Yeah, that didn't really mean anything for this. But the Packers are the better team here, I think. I think that they've shown that recently. And it is Sunday Night Football. It's the Falcons. It's the Commies. When you look at the Falcons, it was a good win last week. Yes, the Giants can't play football, but your defense played amazing. I believe 2 defensive touchdowns. Penix played pretty well. He almost had a touchdown until Kyle Pitts just decided, hey, here's the ball. And then he has an interception on his resume. But Penix played pretty well. He looked comfortable in there. From at least what I was able to see on commercial-filled red zone. So stupid. On the other side, you look at the Commies. Very good win against the Eagles. Like I said, that defense was great. Yes, it missed some pieces due to terrible officiating. But you were able to get a win there. You were able to play some pretty good football. Jane Daniels had 5 touchdowns. It was great. And I think that you'll be able to ride that momentum, beat an Atlanta team that needs a win basically to make the playoffs. And you're going to get this win that Atlanta needs, 27-20. You'll be able to get the job done. And, yeah, I believe that means that the Commies are actually guarantees, the Commies will make the playoffs. Something that they deserve. They've had a great year this year. And that team has sucked historically. They deserve some happiness down there. And over Maryland. And it is Monday Night Football. It's the Niners. It's the Lions. When you look at the Niners, they played an okay game against Miami. It was pretty close. Dolphins pulled away at the end. But it just hasn't been a good year. Everybody's hurt. I believe Garendo will be back for this game. But, it just hasn't been good. On the other side, you look at the Lions. Offense, great. Defense, terrible. Even the Bears scored 17, and they were stopped in the red zone, I believe, once if not twice. The Lions, their offense, though, is still amazing. We saw the Ben Johnson, Stumblerooski, whatever. They're just able to get the job done. I have it happening again. Give me the Lions 37-27, a pretty high-scoring game. The Lions are able to win games like this because they are a good football team. They'll be able to show that again. And I actually think that if the Packers beat the Vikings and then they win this game, they actually get the conference anyways. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If it did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace. Yo, good luck to y'all and any of y'all fantasy championships if you make it. I know you didn't. I did. Both my leagues. Actually, 3 leagues, even though 2 leagues I don't really care about. Good luck in y'all fantasy championships. I need Trey McBride to finally score a touchdown for me, okay? I have him in all the championship games. And I need Kyron to score a lot for me, all right? But yeah, see y'all. I'm telling spooky stories. I don't feel like putting all my lighting up. But Merry Christmas. I forgot to say that. And, no, I have another video before New Year's. But, yeah, Merry Christmas.